Hello and welcome to The Scene Live. This is a show where we dig into what it really takes to build a business that you're proud of and be seen for the work that you do. I'm your host, Kim Speed, a brand clarity coach and founder of Purple Moon Creative. And every week I sit down with an entrepreneur who has something real to share, not the highlight reel, but the actual lessons from building something from the ground up. And today is no exception. My guest spent more than 25 years in national sales, working with Fortune 1000 companies, hospitals, government organizations, universities, and national power utilities before building a business around one core belief. Entrepreneurs should not have to build alone. And today's guest, Jessica Koch, and is the founder of Jessica Koch Consulting, a sales and marketing strategist, speaker, and podcast host with more than 25 years of national sales experience working for Fortune 1000 companies. Today, Jessica helps entrepreneurs build more freedom, visibility, and impact in their business through consulting and her own podcast. She's built a virtual assistant support business. She is into AI strategy. She's into events and so much more. She is the host of Profound Professionals, where she has interviewed so many people, over 1,000 experts, authors, entrepreneurs, and leaders. And so I'm excited to have her on just for that alone. But Jessica's work is rooted in one core belief. Entrepreneurs should not have to build alone. And with the right systems, human support, visibility, and meaningful connection, they can grow profitable businesses while creating a legacy that truly matters. So please help me welcome my guest today on The Scene Live, Jessica Koch. Hello, Jessica.
Wow, that sounded like way too many words about me.
Oh, no. You've done so many things. I wanted to make sure that I got some of them in there. You are always busy. I see you everywhere, and you're always helping people. But so welcome to The Scene Live. And for those of the people that don't know you or meeting you for the first time, can you take us back to the beginning? You spent more than 25 years in sales, working for companies and hospitals and universities, et cetera. So what led you from that world into building your own consulting business?
Oh, that world to my own was sort of a sad tale. It was a bit of a Jonah and the whale story. So, the company I had been with, I don't know, 15 years, 17 years, something like that. All the years start to blend together. A very long time. I learned a lot from, I met a lot of great people. I worked with a lot of these huge organizations. I had huge speaking opportunities. Really just loved what I did. But the writing was on the wall and it was time for a couple of reasons. And so I shifted gears and just kind of tripped over myself with three. I mean, they were huge opportunities, but I lost my confidence in humanity because the contracts weren't. Things written in my contract weren't honored, and I have values that so strong that in the final position, I was the only provider for the family. We had just had a baby, and my husband was full time with our child. I was doing a lot of work from home, but even travel, and my company would send my husband and baby with me.
Right.
Because I was nursing. So he would follow me to conferences where I would speak. I'd go speak on the stage, then hope the everything protected me so I wasn't leaking in front of 100 people as you talk on stage. I'd feed the baby in some discreet location. He'd put him in a stroller and walk around the expo or the conference hall and meet all the vendors. So,
oh no.
Wild, and it was a great opportunity, but in the final in the final end of the last company that they had asked me to do something that I wouldn't do. They wanted me to. I was managing and supporting and coaching and training a sales of people. I wasn't, in my opinion, hired to monitor them in a way that I didn't feel was ethical. And so I just walked away. And I told my husband, I said, look, I know I'm the income. He had a licensed, he had kept his, he was a licensed general contractor for remodeling for local homes and things. And he had kept his, his ID and all his stuff active and live, and did a few projects on the weekend here or there, once or twice a month at most, right? Just so that he, paid his taxes and did all of his insurance stuff and kept everything going. And I said, look, I'll go market you to the local community for a week. And I did. And within a week and a half, I don't want to exaggerate, but within a week and a half, he begun to have a waiting list, and client base. And so I took a 3-year hiatus because I was broken. So I didn't just switch into my own consulting firm or working for myself. I never wanted to do sales again, and I never wanted to work for anyone again. I was done. I was sad. I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
And
okay, like you, of course, as I had said before, the go-getter, out there while you're having a baby and, trying to fit it in and help other people. And then, stuff like that. I understand. You're not the only story like that, unfortunately. Yeah.
So I call
you don't, like you said, I took a hiatus, but you're out there and you get your husband going.
Well, yeah, because that was easy. That's easy because I believe in him. I know he's not going to hurt. He does such a good job that, he's a master craftsman. He does beautiful work and he's meticulous. So, he is someone that is easy to believe in and be okay with. So I homeschooled and hung out for 3 years, and I was so broken that I didn't answer email. I didn't go on social media. I didn't cross the threshold of we have an official office in our home. I wouldn't walk in it. Stayed out of it.
Wow.
Wouldn't go in because I was just like done. So done. And I got a phone call from the local Chamber of Commerce, the executive director. And now this is going to come across as bragging, but these are facts I can verify. I had pretty much every major employer in the region in a tri-county area from where I physically live, just because it's a matter of principle. I was mostly working nationally with a lot of the big dogs we were talking about, but all of the major employers, hospitals, county governments, public school systems, the power company that provided power to the 3 counties, they had been my clients. And on top of that, many of them, the majority of them, I also had gone and spoke at their national conferences, on a national level, wherever their organization met, right?
Wow.
In different places. And so the county executive called me and said, look, we're in a very rural area. We're in Southern Maryland, Calvert County. There's not a lot, here. And so it's not a big mover and shaker, big city. And he called, said, look, we really need a LinkedIn class. I know you did a lot of the business that you did on LinkedIn. We really need a LinkedIn class. And I said, look, I love chambers. I supported them. And I attended them, and I did a lot of work in them when I was working before on a state level and multi-states and throughout the country and locally and all of the things. But I'm not a chamber member. I don't work for anyone. I don't have a business. I don't want a business. I don't want to work for anyone. I'm out. And 7 times this man called me back saying, look, I'm like, and I answered the call because, finally I said, people matter most. This is what I believe in. This is what I taught my children. People come first. People matter most. I said, look, okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to teach, and I'm going to leave. Like, that's it. In and
out.
I'm not joining the chamber. I don't work for anyone. I don't want to work for anyone. I don't have a company. These are the things. And he's like, fine.
Yeah.
So he is very funny and very pleased with himself and sends an email out that says, she's coming out of the woodwork. She's coming out from hiding. Catch her while you can. And they held it at a local, I guess you would call them a mega church, right? Where they have the pull down screen and the seating like you would in a college. And I got in there and it was standing room only. And so, and then first of all, I had never taught a LinkedIn class. I just used it for my business success.
Right.
And to work with CFOs and CEOs and to travel across the country. And, I just did it to do that. And I'm teaching it I'm thinking, everybody knows this stuff. Why am I, what is this? What is the point of all this?
Yeah. You took it for granted.
I turned my back and I'm looking at the screen and I'm talking them through the little ridiculous slides I had put together, and because that's not my gift, by the way. I hire people for that now. AKA the VA agency. It lives for a reason because it started by helping me. And all you can hear is literally frantic scratching of pencils to paper and in the whole room. That's what you heard. You heard the I was like, oh my God, the energy was unbelievable. And then I also learned by the end of the event after teaching that I wore the wrong shoes because I stood for an additional hour of a line of people afterwards talking and explaining and answering questions. And then I spent the next about 6 months helping people for free. And then I got another call from the executive director and said, look, since you've taught this class, we have gotten more calls and more emails than we can handle. Come and be the key speaker for the women's conference at the college this year. So I got the invitation to be the key speaker at the local university for their annual event. And at that point, my husband said, all right, suck it up, Buttercup. You got a business whether you like it or not. So that is how I was yanked by the ankles out of the whale. That was my Jonah and the whale period. I was holding on to that uvula, trying really hard not to have a business. And I got pulled out by my ankles, handed some business cards. Over the course of a weekend, my husband and I, true story, took turns watching a YouTube video on how to build a WordPress site.
Oh my gosh.
I would do a few and then he would do a few and I would cry and stop and drink some water, take a break, and he'd watch a few videos and go back in and fix a few things. And by the end of the weekend, we had business cards and a viable website built by two people who had no idea what they were doing except for YouTube and WordPress.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that is at a time when I was going to say that's at a time too, Jessica, when that was really hard to do. Like
it was very hard to do.
It was very, very upsetting. And and even trying to get somebody to do it was hard.
No, and that wasn't an option. So we were just going to figure it out. And we did.
Oh my gosh.
So that is the story. That was not a short story. I didn't expect to share that one. That's my Jonah and the whale story.
That's amazing. So that was 12 years ago. And it really all started with, you just happened to learn LinkedIn because it served your purpose.
Yes.
And you're thinking, oh, everybody knows this,
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
And something we should listen to ourselves. First of all, pay attention to what you're seeing and hearing in the market, in the world. And the market is your friends. It's your business colleagues. It's the people you network. It's the people in your neighborhood, I mean, and listen to yourself, because myself said, because people started calling me the LinkedIn lady. And they thought it was cute. And I went, oh, that's not a good idea. I don't want to hang my hat on a platform I don't own, or that I could get myself, in trouble by branding myself something that, I didn't brand myself that, but I was being called that. And so I quickly learned and just taught myself lots of other platforms and lots of other things. And I already knew lots of sales and marketing things. And so I shifted to, yes, LinkedIn is part of the solution for sales and marketing. And so are these other social medias, and so are these other strategies, and so are these other things. And then that's when I got because we've only had the VA agency for 7 or 8 years. That came a few years later. Then I kept getting I hear everything you're telling me to do and I don't want to do it all. And how do you?
And I don't have time.
I don't do that at all. Are you kidding me? At that point, I had like 15 people working just for me, just doing
Yeah.
my stuff. And then they were like, well, how do you do that? So then that became a whole thing. So that was me, both listening to myself and listening to the people in my neighborhood, truly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking to me and asking me the questions. If they're asking questions and you have the answers to them, then there might be something you have that's good.
Well, and you were, ahead of the time in getting people to help.
Mhm.
Um, that,
Yeah,
you know,
it flew off the shelves like hotcakes, and now everybody and their brother again, like with the podcast thing. I started
right.
my podcast 10 years ago, well before, everyone had one, and the same thing with the VA agency. You just have to watch.
Yeah.
We also stayed up with the right away, paying attention to AI and automation and systems and, all of that because, everything is shifting. And I'm truthfully shifting some other things again because I'm listening to myself. And as we were talking in the green screen before the show, pre-show secrets,
Yeah.
it's about enjoying the experience of the journey of what are you supposed to be doing right at this moment. It should feel aligned and peaceful, but know that the aligned and peaceful that you have in this moment of what you're doing might be different tomorrow or in a week or 3 weeks or in a month. That
Yeah.
that journey and story can shift, and that's
Yeah.
okay. It doesn't mean you were doing it wrong, 2 steps ago. So if you're on your way to a certain city in Florida, you're going to pass through, depending on which way you go, the Carolinas and Georgia,
Yeah.
to get there. And so just because you're in Carolinas and Georgia doesn't mean that was the wrong place for you to be. It was part of where you had to be to get where you're going,
Yeah.
so enjoy
I
how
love that. I
yeah.
love the way you said that. And I have to, like this, just chatting with you, one of the things that I recognize is that you're not afraid to try things. You know,
Well,
like you're a crazy
behind
girl.
the scenes, I'm very okay. Behind the scenes, in all truth, I'm very spiritual. So, if anyone out there also is spiritual and happens to reference the Bible occasionally, I had a very big Moses conversation with the God about the whole VA agency because I was like, I'll just make a video and show people how I found him and what I did.
Yeah.
And in my meditation and prayer and spiritual moment, I heard that that's not what they want. They want you to do it for them. And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. I never did that before. You'll figure it out as you go was kind of the message I got. So I said, exactly what I told people when I started. I said, look, I'm going to start a VA membership program. I haven't done it before. We're going to figure it out as we go. There's going to be an entry level price you're grandfathered in. You want to give it a shot? Put a parachute on with me. We'll build this as we fly. What do you say?
Yeah.
That was my pitch. No lie. I swear to goodness.
That's amazing. That's
and, and
amazing.
I had so many people jump on when I tagged that to the end of a talks that I was doing, the virtual talking I was booked for already in August, which was in that month particularly way too many. By September, I had to hire 50 new VAs, stop the launch program, make it a full boat program, build systems for everything we were doing, from onboarding the VAs to onboarding the clients to tracking the projects to tracking the pay and the time and we built we had to build it all. It was like one of those
Wow.
things that had to have all the pieces right away. It wasn't like you could, pull it out of the Lego package and build package one, build package two. No, had to have all the gears working. So
Oh my God.
we just kept. I don't think we stopped for a while there. We just kept
It
building.
doesn't sound like you did. It
No,
doesn't sound. Oh my gosh. So, okay,
how that
Jessica, like you just go a million miles an hour. But many entrepreneurs are overwhelmed,
happened.
unlike yourself, because they're trying
Mhm.
to be the visionary. They're trying to be the salesperson, the marketer, the
Mhm.
admin, the follow-up person, etc., the tech. What do you believe business owners should stop doing alone if they want to grow?
Well, I think the very first thing is mindset. And I remember the day I was outside of a client's office. I had driven to one of their locations to work with their sales team. I was building out a cohesive sales plan for all the locations they had in 8 different states. And I was in the car and I just felt the O word in such a horrible way, like he was crushing me. And I decided in, again, my spiritual and meditation moment, that I was never going to use the O word anymore. Not the bad one anyway. The other O word, relief stress, is really wonderful. And lots of those are good. But the bad one I needed to remove from my life. And how could I do that? And so in my mind, I took, you always get these metaphors of your cup runneth over, right? And so it started with this beautiful chalice. I was baptized Episcopal, raised Catholic. Don't judge me. I'm more spiritual than anything now. I love all people and I respect all religions, but whatever. So this golden chalice, because, right, like, I grew up with this, and then it was overflowing with all the things, right? And so I just kept expanding it. And you can laugh again, but I expanded into this giant carnival glass punch bowl my grandmother gave me. And then it was, a swimming pool. And then it was all the oceans. And then it was all this. I just kept expanding the vessel. It was all these stars and the purple swirly galaxy universe.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I just expanded it out. And then I asked, God, the universe, whatever, to send the people, resources, money, knowledge, everything I needed to do all the things so that the O word dissipated and would go away. And so now whenever I feel like the day is more full than maybe it should be, I meditate on expanding and allowing in and being open to receive the resources, money, time, people, knowledge, to achieve all the things that are on set perfectly and matched perfectly to me for my path, whatever that is. That's what I'll achieve. And then I have peace with that. And then I've got a hot hunky husband for the other conversation, and there's just no stress in life when all is good in the world. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. No, but it's interesting, and I think it's like, sometimes if you're going so fast, you actually need to take that moment, take that, like, stop. Is what I'm hearing you say. And
expand and be receptive to what you need in order to achieve it. Because if you've ever watched any of those home makeover events, and they do it in 24 hours, like, remember back in the day, there was an old move that bus, right? And bammo whammo, there was a brand new house, and it happened in like a blink of an eye, literally. And
it was crazy.
Massive amounts of teams. Or my other favorite one was Clean House, where they take everything out of the house, they put it on the front lawn, they'd sell it, they had a decorator, they had a team selling things, they had,
that was so satisfying.
I loved that show. You could achieve so much when you have many hands, many tools, many resources. So don't let the checklist get to you. Determine what it is that you require to achieve that checklist with ease and peace, and possibly from a hammock. And then you're good, So take a look. One of the things we need to do as entrepreneurs, you asked me, the question was, what should I stop doing? First of all, stop limiting your beliefs of how it can be achieved and how much can be achieved. Because people have achieved great things. Go look for those people who've achieved great things. And then if you look deeper behind them, you'll see teams and money and sponsors and patrons and workers, the people that didn't get the glory, that did the things based on the leader's big vision, right?
Right.
So that's what you'll see. So just knowing that and looking at that list that you have in front of you from a different perspective. What knowledge, people, partnerships, relationships, time, or money do I need to make this checklist go away and be achieved the way I believe it should be.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to something else I wanted to ask. Like, you often talk about gratitude. Um,
I do.
you talk about gratitude, you talk about legacy and shining gratitude spotlights
Mm-hmm.
on other people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe gratitude is more than a personal practice? And how can it become a real strategy for building your community, to building trust and referrals?
Well, gratitude is this powerful energy that can reach through electronics and hug someone. One of the most important things you can do as you contribute in the world, in your business and in your life, is help someone feel seen, valued, appreciated, and heard. And when you give a gratitude spotlight, that is the whole point and the whole purpose. I started a long time ago on my YouTube channel. One of my very first ones was for my travel agent. We had just gone on a dream trip. It was on my vision board to take my kid to Disney. She was into Harry Potter at the time. We had read
Oh,
the
yeah.
series. Oh no, it wasn't Disney. It was the other one. Uh,
Oh,
it was the one with
Universal.
Gone Out.
Universal.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we had done all the things. And so, or maybe I did one when I took her to Disney too. But anyway, I got on and just did a live YouTube stream, and I tagged her on one of the social platforms. And then I went along my business, just did a gratitude spot on how great and how she had been a part of a magical moment for my family. And I just gave some appreciation and some honesty, genuinely. And she called back like in tears. You don't know how much that made my day. I've been having
Mm,
such a bad day, and I found this, and I saw it in my notifications, and on and on. And it just, you don't know where someone is in life sometimes, or if they're feeling like they matter, or what they're doing is mattering, or why do I need to get out of bed today? Sometimes people are having that thought, and you don't know. And
yeah.
when you can give that, it makes a lasting impact. People remember that, and you don't do it to receive, but it's a guaranteed side effect. I can't help it. I'm not in charge of this is a universal thing in the universe and in somebody's plan, way more important and smarter than me. But when you do these kinds of genuine impactful things in life, even if it's not from that person in particular, it does come back around. um, I got a call today from someone who said, I want to be one of those video testimonials on your website. How do I do it? I can't. She said, I was even scared to call you yesterday because the day after we talked, I started doing the things you said, and I already have meetings and organizations that want to talk to me. And I did, but she did the things, right?
Wow.
She gets the credit for doing the things. But how exciting it is to get those kinds of calls. And that is a program that I'm working through the government, where I do get some federal funding, but it's way lower than my normal price. It's kind of my pro bono gift. And, when you start doing things in the energy of gratitude and to give back in some way, even if it is not directly from that human, the universe will find a way to shine that light back on you. So
I love that. And you are not the first guest this year that I have talked to about this. Somebody else said something similar, only he talked about, going to a restaurant and, had a nice waiter or waitress, I can't remember, but called the manager over and or asked the waiter for the manager. And the waiter's like, oh, I'm in trouble. But what he did was call the manager over and just to say how wonderful his service was and how that waiter had been so great at his job. Did he have to do that? No. But did it mean a lot to that restaurant, to that manager, to that waiter? It meant so much. And
Mhm.
it's just what you're saying too. And I do believe too that it comes back tenfold.
Mhm.
Not necessarily
From
direct.
that person, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the realm of it all, it's all connected, and somehow it does. It really does
Yeah.
connect. So
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about profound professionals. You've interviewed So many people, experts,
So
authors,
many people.
entrepreneurs.
Even somebody from the country of Georgia, which
Really? Oh, wow.
I,
That's
all over the world. Like I was like, oh, Georgia. And I was like, so Atlanta? And they're like, no, the country of Georgia. I was like, oh, got it.
that's amazing. And you've been doing this for a long
A
time.
long time.
So I have to ask, what patterns have you noticed so across these conversations that most people are trying to build when they're trying to build visibility? What are they getting wrong?
I don't know that they're getting any of it wrong. I think that there is this great desire to go viral, and all the stuff that we're doing right now, this moment on social media is fabulous. But truthfully, in the end, Kim, it's when I get off with you and I get on the phone and actually call the 5 to 10 people that I personally want to make sure I call every single day to tell them something wonderful, to share something new I learned with them, to send them a referral, to ask them what's new in their world, just to reconnect. Those are the things that actually make money. So this person that I sent out who had traction in right away walked in her local business. She's a brand new business owner. She's a nurse practitioner for the community and
Right.
provides CPR services. And I told her to walk in and shake hands with the businesses around her and tell her what she does and see how they could collaborate or if she could meet with someone. And she is immediately already getting responses and almost was a little bit freaked out. Working way too fast and way too easy, right? And I
Right.
gave her some expectations of what to expect. Sometimes someone's going to be in a bad mood. Sometimes someone's not going to want to talk to you. Sometimes someone's going to, whatever. But if you have someone's number, or because it's public on their website, or it's public on their LinkedIn, or because you met in a networking event and it's available out there to book an appointment or have a phone conversation with them, then it's
Yeah.
okay to call them. It's not okay to robocall them or put them on a spam call list or spam text them or spam anything them. That's not okay. But what
Right.
is okay is an initial reach out to say, hi, this is who I am. Do you want to have another conversation with me? And it's okay
Right.
for them to say, no, thank you. But be brave. And that is where the real money is, and the real visibility and the real clients. I mean, visibility is great, but it doesn't pay your bills, right? People window shop, the big, beautiful window displays, and it's only the customers that actually walk in and buy something that
Sure.
make that window visibility mean anything. And I think people should consider more about direct conversations and communication, because that'll probably bring in much larger funds than thousands of dollars in ads on any platform, to be seen, to be visible.
Yeah. And those are the people that maybe they don't need you right then and there. But
Mm-hmm.
because you've made an effort, you have made an impression that you don't even realize probably right then and there. And you're the one that they're going to remember when they do need your services. So sometimes it's not the same thing. Sometimes it doesn't pay off directly right then and there. But I have had people come back to me like, months after I've had conversations, real conversations, with face to face and getting to know people a little bit and showing some interest in people. So I love what you're saying there. I think that is so true.
And getting permission to reach back out. Hey, Kim,
Yes.
I know you said now isn't a good time for us to catch back up and reconnect. Is it okay if I call you late summer or early fall would be better? Which
Yeah.
pick a season because it feels non-threatening, and put that in your CRM system, in your task list, on your calendar, on your alarm, whatever you got to do, so that when that time that she gave you permission comes around, you reach back out. And we spoke in the beginning of summer, and you thought that it might be better timing for us to chat and catch up in early fall. How are
Yeah.
things for you? Do you have fall festival plans in your community and area? What's going on for you?
Yeah.
And that is how you keep that going. And it did take me 5 years of, by the way, I had permission of following up with an organization that put in government contracts out nationally that were competitive bid. They had never done it for the company I was representing, style service type. They had only done it for pencils and widgets and things for schools, and I was getting them to think differently. And for 5 years, I got the guy who ran the program, who was in charge of what kind of services were they putting out for bid, and I got his permission to follow up the next summer, the next spring, the next winter. I just kept going. So we landed a nationally competitively bid contract that served the entire country for the company that I worked for. So this system works with both large fish and whales and your small, more intimate, I call them the meat and potato of your business services, right, that you're offering. So you should always have a couple whales you're working out there. Dream big, that's okay. But then also have the other kind that don't take as much, they're the sole decision maker, or it's, two people who have to decide, not an entire committee or board, or, the larger organizations that I have worked with in the past, take a little bit longer to work on things. So there's something else to think about in your strategy. And I always knew exactly who I wanted introduced to and talk to. That's something else you should be really thinking about. Who's exactly who you wanted to talk to? Because like, if I could be introduced to someone, I have two people. I have Reba McEntire and I have Charles. I have David Green, and I'd love to meet Charles Hannell, but he's been dead for 100 years. But really like him too. But maybe I'll meet him later. I'm not ready to meet him yet.
Right? Yeah, not now.
But Reba and the irony is, I'm a fan of a handful of certain country songs, but not genre wise, but because of how she's connected her life to legacy and multiple streams of revenue and generational wealth that she is setting for her community and for her family for hundreds of years to come. I would love to have a conversation with her. And same with David Green. He is the CEO of Hobby Lobby, and he even writes a book on as well, and has a deep-rooted spirituality and a great connection to leaving lasting legacy. And so there should be the people that you want to talk to, whether that's a business owner of a large corporation, a mid-size, or just someone you saw on LinkedIn that you wish you knew, and you could ask your network and the people in your neighborhood, right? That could introduce you to them. So
I have mine too. My top of my list is Richard Branson. I want to interview him on the show. So just putting it out there.
Okay. Well, Reba and Richard, if you're listening, we're here. We want you to come on to our little small podcast and shine a light in our world. See, so that's what happens when people become very famous or big celebrities. They become like giant stadium lights or strobe lights, and they have this opportunity to shine their light brighter and point it in the direction and help other people out in a way that they can then begin to expand their light wattage as well, right? And that's just an awesome, beautiful thing to happen.
I love that. So speaking of podcasts, through Profound Professionals and your events that you have that we haven't really even touched on, and your consulting and your communities, you've created spaces where experts and entrepreneurs can be seen and heard and connected. So what are you most proud of that you've created, and what legacy do you hope your work leaves behind?
I am most proud of the chance to give people the space to share what lights them up, as well as what they're passionate about. We always have them share their cause or charity they care about. And just the laughter and the enjoyment of the podcast itself. I was reviewing some of them as we're making some updates on our intro and outro, and we're writing a custom human only song. Even though I love AI, there is definitely AI and human strategy that I'm building out. Um, some of them are no longer with us, and we can press play and see the light that they were in the world and what they were up to, and their message and their story still has this beautiful chance to impact the world, because we were able to capture some of their laughter and their beauty and their story. And that's a really big deal to me. Really
Yeah.
big deal to me. And getting people to think about planning for their legacy to last, not just talking about creating a legacy, but how do you make that last for hundreds of years to come? What's your plan for that? Because there needs to be a plan to secure and protect the content you created, the story you've made, the impact you have, so that it can last. It doesn't just, you don't just show up and hope. You need to show up and map out a blueprint that is followable by the people behind you, and give them the roadmap and the resources and the strategy to continue it, and teach them how to continue their own, so this can keep going. And this is something I don't hear a lot of people talk about or teach. And I am in the midst of creating and publishing songs of my own and historical fiction novels and pieces that I want to leave in the world that will hopefully touch the hearts and minds of others long after I'm gone too. So
Oh, I love that. I knew you were writing. I didn't know that you were a songwriter. So
mhm,
that's something revealing for me to know. Um,
mhm,
and you are doing events, and you have one coming up in September. Um,
mhm.
just share a little bit about what you're doing, because that is all about legacy.
It is. So we did in February, we did a legacy gratitude event. And in November, we're doing a money gratitude event. And it doesn't really matter what time you watch this, because legacygratitude.info and moneygratitude.info will be a long term website where you'll be able to see and listen to the event itself, and hear from the money experts and the legacy experts. And those can be in all walks of life, from everything from health to mindset to just different expertise that improve your life or grow your business. Though that's the community, and legacygratitude.info and moneygratitude.info will be the homes of those long-term sites to promote and feature the sponsors and speaker experts and the legacy community that we're building out, because we do meet monthly for free networking once a month, to again shine a light on all those experts and have these legacy and gratitude spotlight conversations, because they need a space to happen. So.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and your event was beautiful, the first one. And yes, and Jessica does have monthly networking too. So
Mhm.
I had forgotten, because you do so much. So
Mhm.
how can people find out about more about all of these things that you do? What is the best way for people to check out Profound Professionals? You, is it your website?
I have a
Um,
website that leads to both of those other websites and all the things we've been discussing. Everything is there. My website is connected to the other two that we're building, and the other two are connected to each other, and all of this one, and they all three, like a triangle, talk to each other. So, um, but the modern technology is so lovely, and they all have all the events and all the details, and the two we mentioned, they're um, we're tweaking them all the time. So,
Yeah.
they're live, but they're dusty. So walk carefully through our construction zone. If there's a page not up yet, it's because it's under construction. And, we're doing new and great things every day. And I'm a believer of, no, don't take the site down. Just keep it live. We'll work on it as we go. And we do a lot of building the plane as we go. And, so far, so good. No major crashes.
Well, and there it is again, fearless Jessica. Like, don't worry so much about it. Keep moving, keep going, keep going forward.
But hold on, back up all your data, because don't sweat the small stuff. I had a YouTube channel with the Profound Professionals that had over 10,000 subscribers, thousands and thousands of views. I think we were approaching 100,000 views on some of them. And AI bot took it down incorrectly, and we appealed and did all the things that we were supposed to do and couldn't talk to a live human. But it was okay, because you don't sweat the small stuff. I didn't get upset. I didn't stress out. I didn't even let it ruin a whole day. I made sure we had all the content. I did my appeal process. Once I knew that wasn't going to work, we established a new channel. We've hired a new YouTube guy to help build us back up to our views again. Because what we own is our content and our stories and our recordings and our shows and our relationships and our time. And no one can take those glowy lights away that we've been shining all these years. We just put them back up, and when, if that site ever completely goes away, because nobody thought MySpace was going anywhere and it's out there anymore. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it is. Who knows? There's so many new ones coming and going. Yeah. Just own your content, back up your stuff. And then you roll with the journey, and you evaluate, is it worth your effort to do again? And YouTube is, so we did, and we're learning all kinds of new things, and we're probably going to have an even better channel than ever because this happened. So the other sentence to always remember in life is, this is good because.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, Jessica, thank you for being part of the best part of my week, and being my guest here. I love these conversations, and you have enlightened me so much. And I've even learned new things about you that I didn't know. So remember, everyone, here is Jessica's website. It's really easy. It's jessicalkoch.com, and you can get all the information for all of the other things that she does, which is a lot, as we've heard. But check out the legacy and check out her podcast. It's got some great people on it, and you'll want to know about them. Also, Jessica, if people wanted to reach out to you personally, can they send you a message or find out more about you?
All my ways to reach me are all over the place there. If you're on LinkedIn, my email, my phone number, everything is there. Same with my website. People have been telling me for years, how do you put your phone number out there? Don't you get crazy calls? I'm like, no more. I don't get any more spam calls than anybody else. This day and age. And I haven't had any, crazy people call me. I've had people pick up the phone and call me a few times, and they've been great conversations. So I don't know.
And you know what? It goes back to that whole mindset thing again, I believe. So who are you trying to attract?
Well, and I also ask the universe and God and energy to kind of put everyone through a shield protected filter that hopefully I only get touched by the good humans.
So this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Jessica. I really enjoyed our conversation, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Please send some love, and if you have enjoyed this show, please subscribe, like, all of the things, because it really helps me in building more of this and sharing more entrepreneurs with you and stories like this to help inspire and motivate us all. So thank you, and we'll see you next time on The Scene Live. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.